Hello, I'm Jamir and you're watching HornbillTV's Prime at 9. Now, headlines. Former Nagaland Chief Minister S.C. Jamir said that all troubles happening in Nagaland is due to unsettled Naga political issue. The Cognac Union sought clarification from Home Minister Amit Shah on his statement on Mon ambush made in Parliament. It also demanded that Shah should apologize and ask for forgiveness from the Cognacs and Nagas. The Governor of Nagaland has summoned the 10th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly on December 20 at 9:30 a.m. Delhi logged its second case of Omicron as a traveller who returned from Zimbabwe tested positive. India has so far logged 33 cases of the new variant cases. Veteran politician and former Nagaland Chief Minister S.C. Jamir today said that state government should make a strong resolution on the early settlement of the Naga peace talks so that the question of Armed Special Power Act will not arise. Speaking to Hornbill TV on December 4, Mon District Tiro ambush, Jamir said that as stated by the Indian security forces, such mistaken identity should not take place in future. He also stated that all sources of trouble happening in the state is due to unsettled Naga political issue. Jamir further said that if Naga political settlement is made, there will be no underground and army and the peace will be restored in Nagaland.
December 4 incident at Oting village, Mon district is the most talked about, and most of the politicians and leaders of our state and also the public has spoken against this. Would you like to comment on the incident of December 4?
Very unfortunate incident. And Army also said it was mistaken identity. I hope such mistaken identity should not take place in future. And in order to avoid this, the administration should be kept informed which are the areas sensitive and where they are having petroleum. Otherwise, simple folks in the villages, they don't know whether it is a sensitive area or otherwise. And therefore, from now on, state government should be very vigilant as far as army movement is concerned.
So, like most of the section of the society has come up against the AFSPA. They have also demanded the repealing of the AFSPA. What would you like to say on that?
A political settlement is made. Obviously, no more underground will be there, no more army will be there. And therefore, our priority should be how soon, how quickly the Naga issue should be resolved. And state government should make a very strong this resolution that this settlement should not be delayed. Once this is done, then the question of AFSPA will not arise. That's why I feel that the priority should be to have early political settlement.
Okay. So, sir, by that are you saying that the people should, stress on the peace talk rather than, asking the government to repeal the AFSPA?
The source of trouble, all this trouble is because unsettled political issue in Nagaland. The necessity of deployment of army or paramilitary forces are required because of this unstable situation. Once this instability, or we shall call it instability, is removed and stability comes, then all this army or paramilitary army will not be required. Only our state police should be there. And that is the key to our peace and stability in the state. A political settlement is made. Obviously, no more underground will be there, no more army will be there. And therefore, our priority should be how soon, how quickly the Naga issue should be resolved. And state government should make a very strong this resolution that this settlement should not be delayed. Once this is done, then the question of AFSPA will not arise.
Okay. So thank you so much for speaking to us, sir. And that was Hornbill TV speaking to Dr. S.E. Jamir. I'm reporter Christine Yukeho with camera person Joy for Hornbill TV.
The Governor of Nagaland has summoned the 10th session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly on Monday, the 20th of December at 9:30 a.m. Meanwhile, Speaker, Nagaland Legislative Assembly and the Chairman of the Business Advisory Committee, Sharingyan Longkamer, has convened a meeting of the BAC on December 16 to finalize the provisional program for the 10th session, emergence session of the 13th Nagaland Legislative Assembly. Almost a week after the brutal killings of civilians in Mon district by a unit of the Para Special Force, the Cognac Union held a press conference today in Mon town. During the press briefing, the union reiterated that Union Home Minister Amit Shah should withdraw his statement made in the parliament, where he said that the December 4 incident was a case of mistaken identity and should clarify, apologize and ask for forgiveness from the Cognacs and the Nagas. The union said mistaken identity is out of question as the ambush happened on a broad daylight. The union further attacks the Home Minister and said that the incident only shows the indifferent attitude of Indian government towards the northeastern states.
It is very shameful on the part of the government of India to make such a huge statement. He being a Home Minister, I would still say, which part of the army law says that an army man, after shooting the civilians, have to change their clothes? And the other thing I would also say is, the first statement that came out of the Home Minister's mouth was, it was a mistaken identity. How can a mistaken identity come here? When it was around 4:30 p.m., it was a broad daylight. And then our Home Minister must know what is the meaning of ambushed. Ambush is a surprise attack from a hidden position. When you are sent to protect the civilians and when you're attacking them, sitting in a position, that is very, very shameful. And not only that, I think the whole incident also shows the indifferent attitude of the government of India.
The union spokesperson said that AFSPA is a law of torture, rape and killing, and that the region cannot be made a practice ground. Stating that Indian government needs an inclusive approach to gain people's confidence, the union asked if the country is going to continue holding on to military forces to contain the forces.
To SIT, that was the demand of the Cognac Union. Immediately after the incident, we submitted one memorandum to the President of India through the Governor of Nagaland, stating four charter of demand. One was to identify immediately the security personnel who were involved in the massacre. They must be identified and booked before law, one. Two was to have an independent inquiry. The independent inquiry by the state government is already instituted, and we have the list of this, about six IPS officers are there in the investigating team. So this will, the list is with us. We can see that after the conference. Now, another point we have mentioned is that to take action within 30 days. And this 30 days, we are counting within 30 days, the security personnel involved in the shooting and the action, the investigation taken by the SIT must come into public domain within 30 days. That is clear cut from KU. And last but not the least, we also submitted against to repeal the AFSPA, that is 1958. So these are the 4 charter of demand we have submitted to the President of India, copy to the Honorable Prime Minister, to the Defense Minister, to the Chief Minister, and to the authority who are concerning this. So this, and 4th and 5th is declared by Cognac Union as the Black Day. So we are working on that, and Cognac Union is all out working to see that justice is given at the earliest. If justice is not given in time, we are ready to go to the extent beyond the state government. We will take the issue to the government of India, and the action must be taken within the specific time mentioned in the memorandum.
Which security force law allows give the power to the army after killing the civilians or anybody for that matter to take off their clothes? No? I mean, who volunteers that? It is the 21 para commandos who volunteered to take off the clothes. They did not even respect the death. They took off their clothes and they were all out to put on the camouflage clothes and show that it was an attack on the militants. We can actually say this was all fake encounter.
The Cognac Union also categorically said that if justice is not given to them on the Tiro ambush incident, then they will go beyond the state government and approach the centre. The union informed that immediately after the incident, they submitted a memorandum to the President of India through the governor, and even though they are yet to receive any response from centre, they will keep pursuing it. They also mentioned about forming different committees under the union regarding the issue. The people in Mon district are currently observing 7 days of mourning. Brothers, a group of friends formed to bring change in Chandal district of Manipur, has condemned the killings in Mon district of Nagaland and has called for repealing the Armed Forces Special Powers Act 1958 in Manipur. Raising voice against the brutal and inhuman act of the security forces, brothers on Friday raised a banner at the sports complex Chandal Christian in Chandal district calling for the repeal of the Cognac Act. Rally Anal, a member of the brothers, stated that AFSPA has done no good to the people of the Northeast but rather taken innocent lives. To bring peace and trust of the government in the Northeast, repealing the AFSPA is the only way. Rally said and appealed to the government to do so.
We demand that Union Home Minister must retract his first statement in the Parliament. Today we also demand for the immediate repeal of Armed Forces Special Power Act, which has given enough impunity to the army to terrorize the people, the civilians. We demand for the immediate repeal of such a draconian act.
With the aim to enable women representation in governance and decision-making process, the Assam Cabinet on Friday decided to amend the Assam Municipal Act 1956 to provide women reservations for 10 years. According to the Chief Minister's office, the Cabinet also decided to bring an amendment to the Guwahati Municipal Corporation Act 1969 to extend the tenure of women reservation up to 10 years in direct elections to posts of councillors of the corporation. Among the other key decisions taken at the Cabinet meeting, chaired by the Chief Minister, include Assam Agroforestry Development Board to be established for incentivizing farmers and growers to take up planting of trees in their land. Allotment of 8.02 acres of land here to Hiraka Seva Trust for the construction of the cultural center and approval of the Assam Procurement Preference Policy 2021. Assam Agroforestry Development Board is believed to serve as a platform to establish farmers, industry and other stakeholders. The cabinet also decided to establish a super speciality hospital at IIT Guwahati campus in North Guwahati in association with IIT Guwahati. Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee's working president Megha Chandra has called for the repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act. In a press conference held in the Congress Bhavan in Manipur, Megha Chandra said that the MPCC condemns the killings that happened in Mon district of Nagaland. He said such incidents could be possible only because of the AFSPA in the northeast region. He called it draconian and a black law which is anti-people. Megha Chandra said if the Congress party comes to power in Manipur, the first decision they will take is in the first ever cabinet meeting is to repeal the act from the entire state. Megha Chandra called for the removal of the disturbed area status of the state too.
MPDC has condemned the innocent killing in the Mon district of Nagaland. And in this connection, the armed forces, it is because of the armed forces special code 1958 prevailing in the Nagaland and the entire state of northeast, including Manipur. So it is a draconian law, it's a black law, it's a anti-people. So the empowering to the sepoy, and it is not good. Since we are in democratic country, and it is not nice to these incidents of the Mon district of Nagaland.
A public interest litigation has been filed in the High Court of Manipur in regard to illegal hoisting of political party flags, poles and billboards of candidates in the upcoming elections. The matter was listed before the division bench of the High Court comprising Chief Justice P.V. Sanjay Kumar and Justice M.V. Muralidharan on Friday. The PIL was filed by Rinku Chukam, editor of the newspaper Imphal Times, alleging that flag poles and billboards were erected without taking prior permission from the municipality office of Imphal.
That touched me is the large number of colorful flags belonging to political parties of various kinds, erecting flags in the middle of roads, which make inconveniences to the travelers, commuters, and everybody who pass by. So I was thinking that these make quite a disturbance to the travelers as well as the riders, vehicle riders, and I thought it should have been done by it should have been checked by some competent authority like the law enforcers, and there should be a proper way of erecting flags in the middle of the road, because everyone knows that the erecting of flags in the middle of the road makes inconvenience to the traveler. So earlier, there has been a lot of cases regarding scuffle between groups of political parties was supporting another candidate, and another groups of political party was supporting the candidate, fighting for erection of flag in the middle of the road, which is neither belongs to an individual or a political party, because this is a government land. This according to so many rulings of so many courts, like the Kerala High Court, the Tamil Nadu High Court, the Madras High Court, they have already rules that any individuals, maybe political parties or anybody, they have no rights to encroach the government land unless and until they got proper permission from the competent authority.
Meanwhile, talking to Hornbill TV, Kumakcham condemned the killing that happened in one district of Nagaland and called for the repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act.
For this reason, has been experiencing this kind of incident, firing innocent people under the so-called draconian law, the Armed Forces Special Power Act. We should remember the Vietnam Long incident. It is, you know, even the pregnant women were forced to deliver their baby in front of whole public. These were not mere story; these were realities. How the students, how civilians were falling in line and fired indiscriminately, killing, including a MBBS student at Rims somewhere, some many years back. And you also know the 2000 incident at Malong, where 10 or 11 people, including a child who have been awarded the bravery award by the government of India, has been killed just because they have been attacked by some unwanted antisocial armed rebel. Some of them are demanding removing of AFSPA. Repealing of AFSPA should be done in the parliament itself. How many of them have talked to the parliament? Yes, of course, Agatha Sangma, the NPP leader of the parliament, have talked about this, and she demanded a repeal of AFSPA, and many MPs have also demanded this repeal of AFSPA. Even the then Prime Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, has said that this is an inhumane act. Except some amendment like imposing some do's and don'ts on the AFSPA, none of the politicians are thinking of repealing this act.
Law Minister Kiren Rijiju on Friday said in Lok Sabha that the Ministry of Home Affairs has no proposal under consideration to scrap Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code dealing with sedition. He also said that the question of law regarding Section 124A is pending for adjudication before the Supreme Court. The Ministry of Home Affairs has informed that there is no proposal under consideration to scrap Section 124A of the Indian Penal Code 1860. Further, the question of law regarding Section 124A is pending for adjudication before the Supreme Court of India, he said in a written reply. According to Section 124A of the IPC, whoever by words, either spoken or written, or by signs, or by visible representation or otherwise, brings or attempts to bring into hatred or contempt or excites or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by law in India shall be punished with imprisonment for life, to which fine may be added, or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years, to which fine may be added, or with fine. That's all we have for now. Keep watching Hornbill TV.